to Hikecast number 13. Obviously, we're starting things out a little bit differently than usual here. This is an aerial photograph of Point Defiance Park, sort of one of the classic urban parks in the Puget Sound region. It's down in Tacoma, where Point Defiance Zoo and Aquarium is, and a bunch of other things as well. We're going to be doing the outer perimeter hike along, believe it or not, the outer perimeter of this peninsula here. To give you a little bit better sense of what we're doing, let me bring up the topographical map, and you can see that it's going to be right along these edges of these bluffs. And because we're going along the tops of the bluffs, there's not actually very much elevation gain for the hike itself. It's going to be a pretty flat hike. Some ups and downs, obviously, but pretty minimal compared to a lot of other hikes. And it's also only 3.6 miles. It's just a nice urban-ish day hike. While we've got some other stuff going on in Tacoma, it should be a good time. I'll show you what the park map has to say about it. Park map is there's 3 different trails on it. We're going to be doing the one marked with the square. It's the longer one around the edge, not the one that cuts through the middle here. And I'm told there's some gorgeous views of Puget Sound on this hike, so I'm looking forward to sharing those with you.
The trail starts here at Fort Nisqually. This wasn't a military fort, but it used to be an outpost of the Hudson's Bay Company, which did a lot of trading here in the 19th century. There's a museum here now, and I keep meaning to go to it, but haven't gotten around to it. But there's also the start of the trail.
What we're going to do. Most of the trail looks a lot like this so far. Green and brown and nice pleasant forest walk. If you see a couple of those signs, little posts, little markings on them, those are the trail markers. There are 3 trails: triangle, square, circle. We're doing the square, as I mentioned before, and they're really handy because lots of trails crisscross and roads and hither and thither. So having these markers, especially after a previous adventure in the wilderness, was a very nice change of pace. Still looking for some views, but I expect they'll show up sometime. Well, here we go. We've gotten little snippets of views between trees and such on our way here, but this is the first really nice view we've gotten. It's quite pleasant. Quite pleasant. Just after I talked about how well the trail is marked, we crossed a road to get over onto this side of the peninsula, and suddenly all the markings went away. But don't be afraid, there's just one trail, there's just one way to go, and eventually when you get to this viewpoint, you'll be rewarded with a little white box that says you were on the right trail all along, even if you didn't think you were, hypothetically, you know. Well, here we are at the actual point of Point Defiance. I'm reliably informed by a sign behind me that right around here, a Captain Wilkes and his crew celebrated the first 4th of July west of the Rocky Mountains in 1841. And he saw this spot here and looked over to Gig Harbor yonder and said, you know, if we could put guns there and there, we could defy the world. Hence the name Point Defiance. We've been going counterclockwise, and we've just now, after hitting the point, curved down to the south, giving us a nice view of the Tacoma Narrows Bridge. Or there's 2 of them now, so are you supposed to call them Tacoma Narrows Bridges? Anyway, very nice suspension bridges. If you're not from around here, you still may be familiar with this, because the old one was called Galloping Gertie, and you've almost certainly seen the film of that spectacular end of that bridge. These, though, much nicer, should stay up much longer. And, man, lovely day today. And the views are nice. As we keep going south, here is a even better view of Tacoma Narrows Bridges and the rest of the South Sound. Just to try to give you a sense of the bluffs we've been going by. This is not at all the steepest, but when they're steep you can't see very much. So this is kind of what we've been seeing. And just very pretty with the sun on the water behind the trees. Just thought I'd share that with you. Well, here we are. We're back at Fort Nisqually. And it's a nice little hike. I've kind of got my blood flowing. I want to keep going, but that's the loop, and it's a very nice little hike. Very nice. I almost wish we had more people out here. Maybe done a picnic out on the point. Very, very nice. And didn't take very long. I did jog a little, but it took me less than 2 hours to do all of it. And yeah, I recommend it if you've got a Saturday and it's nice out here like it is today. Then come on down to Tacoma and do the Point Defiance outer perimeter hike.